guys, we are in the Lotus Emira, and this is a car that has a few very tasteful upgrades, including a tune and an exhaust. The one thing I thought about the Emira when I reviewed it was that it was a little underpowered and it lacked a little bit of soul and character with the stock exhaust. This particular car is wonderful with these upgrades. So this is the safest spot we've got to run out this car. It's the only place in this entire review I'm going to be able to full throttle this car because we are going to be on the street today. Very safe, no driveways, no cars. So don't do this at home, so to speak, but I do want to give you a little taste of what this car is like. We're not going to launch it. You know, this car is probably pushing high 3s, 0 to 60. I just want to give you a taste of what, you know, a third and a fourth gear run out feels like and not going crazy, okay? So this is first gear. Hope you enjoy. That's full throttle. And there you go. I would say plenty of horsepower. And just listen to it. You can hear the supercharger. You can actually hear the car now. It has soul and character. And it's so much better than a stock one. I'm really impressed by what this tune and this exhaust has done to this car. It's unlocked its potential. Aaron, welcome to the channel, my man. It's good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Beautiful, beautiful car you brought here today. Now, Hethel Yellow, you want to talk a little bit about this color and the exterior for a second, what your thoughts are on it?
Well, it's a pretty unique yellow. I absolutely love it. I was super happy when I saw it for the first time on the website, and I've always been a big yellow fan. I've had a lot of yellow cars, but yeah, I was just really excited with it. I think it's just the right tone of yellow. You can go too light. Yellow's one of those colors. It can be right, it can be wrong, and I think they really nailed it with this color here.
You want to compare it to your like normal yellow. That's your normal yellow, guys. Yeah. No flake. It doesn't color change, although with the sun, it does give contrast with the shadows.
Right.
It's really cool, and the way I see it right now and the way you guys see it on camera, it's going to be different. I can't describe that.
Right.
We tried with the drone, but the color's great. And then the spec you went with the light wheels, red brake calipers, really punches the look up because I like how the red of the brakes comes with the red of the lights back here. This has the black pack too, correct?
Yeah, that included the tinted windows, the black top, black on the bottom, mirrors,
yep.
You know, the rear diffuser, and then tailpipes, but obviously tailpipes changed when we changed the exhaust.
Right. New version recently, what did you tell me they call it?
The 420.
The 420, and that has a lot of these in carbon?
Yes, yeah, it's got carbon vents on the tops of the front fenders. It's got a carbon spoiler, the rear diffuser and the front arrow is different, carbon tail. The exhaust is titanium, and it only comes in the AMG turbo with the automatic paddle shift.
So this is the last version of the mid-engine Emira that is ever going to be manual.
Yes.
Is that correct? Because they make a 4-cylinder turbo with like 360 horsepower, but that's paddles.
Correct.
That's AMG engine, right?
Yes.
So this is the last one.
Last one. This one is the first edition, and then you can still get the SE V6, which is, you can get that in a manual, but they're limited also. And so now they're going to a new engine in the European models, and here actually it's a Renault engine with a 4-speed automatic.
Wow.
Don't understand it. But
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. 4-speed. They made about 1,300 that came to the States. So we're not talking about that many first editions that were built and delivered. And I actually have a story because I was going to buy one of these, and I'll tell you that a little bit later when we pull the car into the HQ. Overall, guys, tell me that's not a hell of a good-looking car for what you pay. I think that is one of the best-looking modern cars ever made. All right, guys, let's go for a drive in the Lotus Emira. Now, this is pretty much going to be my first impressions. This is a 6-speed manual. Now, this is not factory. Now, I will say first impressions, the pedal spacing is a little bit tight on this car. If you've got big feet, you're gonna have a little hard time with some of the clutch and brake. You kind of have to be very nuanced with where you place your feet. The clutch is also quite heavy on this car, and I've noticed that it likes quite a bit of fuel. This is not one of those cars you want to just kind of baby on the gas. It really likes a good amount of gas, so you can blip it really good. Now, once you're going, with the extra bushings this car has, it it's pretty hard to shift on first to second. It has anti-stall built in, but I will just say from a first impressions on this vehicle, you got to know how to drive a manual. Like, it's not the easiest manual to drive, especially with these upgrades this car has. So tell me, Aaron, tell the folks, like, what have you done to this car that is not stock?
The very first thing I did to the car was the exhaust. The factory exhaust was entirely too quiet. So I ordered a Greg's Race Parts titanium exhaust for it, and super happy with it. It has just the right tone, the right burble afterwards. It's not a pop type thing, it just has a really good tone to it. But super happy with that. That was the first thing I did, had to do that very first. Then after that I did the short shift from Greg Race Parts also. And it's a little bushing that you put on and takes away the rubber and makes it steel. So everything is much more firm. And it can be dialed in to taste also a little bit, you know, as far as where, how short you want it to be. If you want it to be a little longer throw, it's got adjustments in that actual part that you can make. And then after that, I did the Burger tuner, the JB4 tune, and it gives you different options that are pre-programmed for 91 octane, 93 octane, and race fuel, but you also can get a professional to tune it in the advanced mode and tune it on a dyno and things like that to get more horsepower out of it.
All right, guys, I'm going to start off here in tour mode. And again, you really got to drive this thing. You got to give it some good fuel, even in tour mode. Yeah, I mean, once you're out of first and second to third is super easy. I'm just getting used to it, guys, so we're not going to go crazy yet. I will say, you definitely feel an increase in torque with this tune. I don't remember it having that kind of low-end grunt. I remember when I reviewed the Emira, or when I test drove it, anything below 4,000 RPMs was really nobody home. Now it's like anything above 2,500 feels really good. Like, I feel like, yeah, I've got a good little shove if I'm more than half throttle, which is great. Sounds so much better. Steering weight, phenomenal, guys. Like, really, really feels good. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's point and shoot. There's a little bit of play in it, and then you're gonna feel it in the wheels. So from that perspective, Lotus has always had phenomenal steering. It's hydraulic, okay. All right, so now we're in sport mode. Now this is a back road, guys, that I like to take cars down. This is gonna be 510. This is not gonna be crazy, okay? We're not on a racetrack here, but I wanna give you a little taste of what this car sounds like and my impressions of when you're loading into turns. Oh, wow. It's got great torque. You know, people say that it has kind of short gearing, but it doesn't feel short. It feels like you can keep it in third and have plenty of room to run it up. A lot of times I would have shifted cars into fourth there, but didn't need to. Brakes feel great, progressive. Just absolutely love this road. It's so beautiful this time of year. Could shift down to second there, but I really don't feel like I need to with the torque. That's the best part about having a supercharger, you know? You don't have to constantly keep it in like the power band. With a turbo, you'd have nobody home. I will say the steering's light. It's not heavy. When you're loaded into a turn, it's very easy to drive. All right, I'm trying to get this camera dialed in for you guys so you can actually see a little bit of the road. Yeah, I will tell you, if you want to drive this car fast, you're gonna have to know how to drive. There's no rev matching, so it's gonna be on you to go ahead and nail those downshifts. Now, I will tell you, you don't really have to downshift this car all that much. Now, if you're on a track, you are going to need to. But on a back road here, it's absolutely fine. Just keep it in third. Got plenty of power as you come out of the turns. don't really know how much more power you would need than that. I mean, you know, that was your 80 mile an hour on a back road.
Yep.
It's plenty. A lot of fun, guys. Now this has the sport suspension or the touring suspension?
Touring suspension. I felt like the sport was a little too stiff for me because I daily drive it somewhat. So I really went with the tour, and I'm super happy with that choice. I think it's still super fun.
Yeah, it feels really good on these back roads. You know what the front wheels are doing, but it doesn't feel harsh, you know? Yeah, it feels great. Honestly, the suspension, wonderful. Yeah. You know it's mid-engine when you're loaded up into turns, very balanced. I mean, gosh, from a first impression, once you kind of get over the initial clutch engagement and just some of the characteristics of the throttle input and brakes, easy to drive. So, guys, what I am finding about this car, only having spent a little bit of time with it, is it has usable, approachable power. And I really love that. You know, some of these newer modern cars are coming out with, take the Z06, 670 horsepower, and it weighs 3,400 pounds. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you full throttle that car in third and fourth gear and you hit 8,500 RPMs, you are going to jail if you get caught. Just the way it is. This car, you can go full throttle and actually use the thing and actually have some fun with the power plant. You know, you can go ahead and fully use second, fully use third, and even fully use fourth. Now you're excessively breaking the speed limit at that point, but you really were able to have a little bit of fun, you know, and have some full throttle shifts. So that's a positive for only having around 400 horsepower. Now with this tune, I will say it kind of puts this car into a slightly different class, a higher tiered class. You know, if you were playing like a Forza of the world, you know, this is going to take it from like a class S to another class, right? It definitely has more performance and it's a lot more fun. I will also say the shifter on this thing with the short throw and the upgraded bushings, it's one of the best mechanical shifters I've ever felt. Like, it's not easy to drive. Like, you can see there, like rev matching it, it takes a little bit of nuance. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, like it's not easy to get right. Like, to blip this thing, you have to give it just a little bit. And if you shift fast enough, you probably don't even have to blip this thing, to be honest with you, the way it's tuned. And Lotus doesn't give you any kind of a button where it's like, you know, it gives you rev match. You know, Porsche gives it to you. Pretty much all the manufacturers give it to you on their manual cars. You know, if you're driving a GT4 and you throw it into second from a high gear or a high, you know, mile per hour, it'll blip it and match it just perfectly for you. You never have to worry about your transmission. This car, not so much. So if you're going to track it, you need to know that you're going to have to be a great driver. You're going to have to heel toe it best you can. Even with the tight pedals, you're going to have to figure it out. You might want to, I mean, I'm sure they make aftermarket pedals for this car that'll help a little bit.
They might, yeah.
But yeah, I do find the pedals are very tight, especially between the brake and the clutch. So that's just something to be mindful of. And what are your thoughts on the driving experience?
I just think it's a fun car. You know, I bought it because I was looking for something to enjoy. It's not work to drive, it's fun to drive, it's very alive. It's so many of the cars today are just numb to me, and I enjoy driving. I'm not a professional driver, I just like to drive. Yep. And this makes me feel alive when I'm driving it, and you get that little bit of excitement without being afraid that you're going to put yourself into a wall because you have way too much power.
Yep.
And for a non-professional driver that likes to drive, I don't think it gets any better than this.
What car did you have before this?
I have an E46 M3.
Okay.
And then I have a NA Miata.
Okay.
So both really fun cars to drive. That's kind of my wheelhouse, is just enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't have to rev match it, do you? The clutch
No.
is very, it just soaks it right up. Huh. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I'm getting into it, guys. You know, it's a car that, you know, like the Miata, it's that ND. I mean, man, that manual, it's like you just get it, right? This car, it takes a little bit. You know, I don't know what it is. It's a heavy clutch. with the upgraded bushing, the tuning of the engine and everything, like it needs a little bit of time to kind of figure out what she likes. Is it hard to drive? Not really. Nothing really that hard, but just to do it smooth, you know, it takes a little bit of time. I'm figuring it out. Oh, man, the mid-end power, the mid-range power in this thing is phenomenal, guys. From like 2 to 4 is where you live in this thing. I mean, it's just great power. The tune on this is phenomenal. It has way more punch than I remember. Way more. Yeah.
Well, I took the tune off of it recently, and then put it back on, and it really blew me away, the difference, because you get used to driving it with the tune.
Yeah.
And then you take it off and you were like, wow, this really was pretty underpowered, in my opinion, from the factory. I mean, I think what this tune does is make the car what it should have been from the factory.
I mean, I've never reviewed a sports suspension model. If you guys have a lot of experience with the sports suspension, by all means, you know, give us a comment below about what your thoughts are between touring and sport. Is it that much different? I don't know. Have you driven a sport model?
Yes, I drove another one that was similar to this that had the sports suspension on it, and it was pretty firm. In my opinion, it was a little too firm for the daily driving I tend to do.
Got it. So I will feel like if you blip this car, guys, to help slot it in, I feel like you have to give it almost like a half a second delay before you let off the clutch to get it right. It's cool. It's just, see right there, when I went to get the car in gear, it was interesting because I hit the brake with my clutch pedal. So it's just an example of those tight pedal spacing. I mean, plenty of power to get on the highway. Plenty of power to have fun. Sounds great. You hear the supercharger whine. Let's take it on the highway here and hear about how much wind and road noise we get. It has cruise control, right? Yep. So let's see, enabling cruise control is one of these, I imagine.
Yes.
Okay. Does it have Distronic or just?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
The automatic version does, but this one does not. The new automatic version did. None of the first editions did.
Got it. It's not loud.
No, it's quiet car.
It's quiet.
Even with the exhaust open right now, you have a conversation very easily.
Yeah, this is very
Super
impressive.
Quiet.
Yeah, I mean, most my sports cars are louder than this. You don't hear a lot of tire noise, and wind is very low. And suspension's comfortable going over these 840 bumps, which are awful usually. This is a car that you can easily rally, and we're in 5th, so I mean, you could even take it to 6th. Now you're revving 2,400 RPMs at 70. I mean, there you go, guys. How's the KEF sound system in this thing?
Honestly, it's a little disappointing.
Okay.
I'm a sound guy. I love good audio, and I was excited when I saw it was KEF, but it's a pretty basic sound system, to be honest. The subwoofer tends to give out a little quickly.
Okay.
It's good for just, you know, your daily listening kind of thing, but if you want to turn it up a little bit, it doesn't have the capabilities that I wish it did.
Interesting. Any other kind of little nibbles with the infotainment system or anything that you've experienced as far as that?
On occasion, the CarPlay doesn't connect immediately. You know, it's just little quirks like that, and so you have to go into the setting and tell it to connect.
Got it.
Instead of it doing automatically. That's, you know, infrequent, but it happens. Trying to think of anything else that's quirky.
Any maintenance issues you've had? Any dealer service visits that you've had to experience?
I had a couple of recalls for very simple things. One was a pigtail on a wiring harness that never shorted out on mine, but it was obviously a problem, so they replaced that. I did have an issue with it going into limp mode once, And that ended up being a wheel speed sensor that was in a bulletin that they had, so they replaced that. But nothing, I mean, really, that's it. All I've really done is just service.
So other than the warranty issues, well, there's really been no mechanical problems.
No mechanical problems whatsoever.
And I'll tell you, when I did my demo drive, there was a horrible rattle somewhere up here. I don't hear any rattling in this car.
No, it's really tight. Rattles are one of those things that really get to me, and this is a very tight car. One of the reasons why I don't want to upgrade sound system or things like that is because I don't want to take too much apart and create rattles.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But, I drove the same car that you did, and I recall that rattle.
It was bad, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
That actually, God, that rev matching in this car is tricky. I honestly don't think do you ever rev match it, or do you just...
On occasion,
I mean, it's hard to do. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like that on the Miata would have been like butter, but this thing it's just like I mean, there it is. Like, you don't have to rev match it, I guess. It just let the clutch do its thing. It's not really tuned for it, is it?
I don't think so.
It's hard to get right.
It's hard to get right. I mean, I practice and I try to get better at it because obviously I drive the car frequently, but
these manuals, they all have different
everything's
right?
got a different characteristic.
But this is great. Like, I just love the way it feels. Like,
Yeah.
it feels really mechanical, you know, and heavy and purposeful, and just it's really good for... I wouldn't say this is a great track car though. Like, I think I would find this very difficult to hustle around a track at speed.
If you're going to be one of those guys who really wants to push it all the time, you need to be a good driver from just the shifting standpoint. I mean, steering and everything like that, the car's very planted. It steers incredibly.
Brakes are great, steering's great.
All of that
Chassis
is there.
dynamics are great. It's this right here.
It's the shifter and the clutch.
And the clutch.
And everything, I haven't driven the dual clutch turbo yet. Everyone I've talked to says it's fantastic. They absolutely love it.
And they say it's faster.
It's faster. Obviously, it has launch mode. It takes off faster. You're a dual clutch. The shifting in first to second in this car on this transmission has always been tough.
Yes.
You can't slam gears in this thing first to second. It won't let you do it.
Yes.
So there's a half a second pause
in
between the shift, which loses you 0 to 60 time, very easily.
Yes, I agree with that, 100%. The second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth, not hard.
Not hard at all.
And you could definitely power shift it, I'd say.
Yeah.
But that first to second, very difficult, and that's really where you probably lose 0.4, 0.5 seconds of 0 to 60 time.
I would agree.
Is that right there?
Right there.
I mean, your power and your torque, and also your boost pressure with your supercharger, and that's kind of neat. So.
Yeah, you've got your G's and all the other information there.
Yep. Otherwise, not many frills going on here with the screen.
Pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty basic. There's nothing that, as the passenger, I'm getting here as far as any kind of the new Ferraris have these screens and. But overall, it's a nice place to be. You have the Emira badge here, and everything's Alcantara leather, nice yellow stitch line. Again, we already mentioned it, no rattling in here. The floor mats are cool too. Notice the floor mats here have the Emira in it. Seats comfortable, doesn't beat you up. It's not digging into my hips, not digging into my upper back like those bucket seats on a Porsche do. So yeah, I really like the interior. I think it's a very cool place to be. And the roof's Alcantara as well. If you didn't know, I'll give it so all that, instead of it being cheap economy car, it's nice. It's got a nice place to be. So what's cool, guys, is this exhaust has the ability to close the valves or the buffer, and there you go.
Yeah, just push 2, and it will quiet down.
That makes a big difference. Now you just hear the supercharger.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of cool. And you just hear the whine.
No more gurgle and everything. It just kind of buttons all that up.
All right, guys, we are back in the HQ. Got Aaron here. So let's talk a little bit about future collectability, because Aaron was just talking about this at lunch. The new version of this car, and we mentioned it a little bit in our introduction, but the new version is going to have more power, right?
Yes.
It's going to have 500 horsepower.
Yes.
But it's going to have a 4-speed?
Yeah, 4-speed automatic.
What in the hell was Lotus thinking? I don't get it.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Everything we've talked about with friends and everything I'm seeing on the internet, we're all just kind of baffled. by the fact that you're going to put a 4-speed automatic, which we
4
didn't even know they
speed.
still make.
Right.
You know, apparently it's out of some, you know, diesel truck for Renault that they're putting on it. It makes 0 sense,
right,
in my mind, to put a transmission like that into a car that, oh, we're going to take it up 500 horsepower, but we're going to backtrack on the transmission. It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like they're losing the whole plot.
Yes.
The whole point of why you buy this car.
Right.
You buy it because it's a mid-engine and it's a manual.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah, there are cars faster, there are cars that probably handle a lot better, they're probably a lot more money, but at the same time, that's the reason people buy this car. It's the reason I bought this car.
Sure.
So
you're basically telling me that if this had 500 horsepower and a 4-speed, you wouldn't even look twice at it.
I wouldn't have looked twice.
I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Lotus as far as their mid-engine platform.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
me
agree.
personally, I wouldn't, as good as I'm sure it is, and as good as I love AMG and the turbocharging technology, and I highly doubt there's any turbo lag,
Right.
and I highly doubt the transmission doesn't just bang gears and it's faster,
Right.
I still wouldn't buy it.
Right.
I would rather fight that manual and
Yeah.
try to get it right every time I drive it.
Yeah.
You know, and try to figure it out, feel like a hero.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm gonna go to the track, I am not gonna choose a Lotus. So for me, this was never gonna be a track car. Now,
Right.
Lotus does make a GT version of this car that is a motorsports only vehicle.
Right.
Then yes, you could actually order that car and get the track version of it. But if you're gonna buy this version of the car, it is the ideal weekend warrior. It's never gonna be a track car. So the whole idea of them trying to make it faster around a lap with a 500 horsepower dual clutch doesn't make any sense. And did you say the dual clutch is off a truck?
Yeah, yeah.
Like-
Well, I don't even think it's a dual clutch. I think it's a single clutch. It's a single clutch 4-speed automatic.
Oh my God.
Again, I may be wrong on that, but that's everything I'm reading and hearing. Now they're still talking about it, but it makes no sense.
Nuts. One of the things I did want to make sure that I covered with you guys, and this is probably a con of the car, is the only storage that you have, and I do mean the only storage, is going to be right back here. Now this is a drone Mavic 3 case, and it fits. However, that engine is right here. And so you have a super hot engine next to your storage compartment. And let me tell you, you feel the heat. Like if I put my hand in here, you feel all of that radiating heat. Now I do realize that it vents out of the car. However, if you're gonna come home with some ice cream, I think you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, if you're traveling and you have a stick deodorant, it's going to be all over the carpet
Stick
when
of
you get
deodorant.
where you're going.
There you go, guys.
It's a simple thing like that.
You would have thought they would have given you some storage here, but this is where the radiator is. So there's no front storage. So if you're looking to buy this car for long trips, rallying, etc., probably not your ideal car.
Right.
Now, unless you just got a wife and you who just can pack super light. You obviously have space, but anything that's cold or needs to be kept cold is gonna have to be behind those seats. And you do have a little bit of space back here, I believe, right?
Yes.
For some
Yeah, I can
space.
throw 2 duffel bags or something like that back there.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys what this looks like real quick. So like I said, if you want to take a trip and you've got something that needs to be kept cool, deodorants, toothpaste of the world, right? Ice cream, anything like that, you do have some space in the back here. I figured I'd show you guys. So it actually is a fairly large little spot. I'd say it's about 1 foot to 1.5 foot max. So you could fit a couple of nice bags back there. That really does help this car be a lot more practical as far as taking a trip. But yes, this is a drag. Just having a rear trunk that is completely exposed to the engine. Now, while it's cool to see the engine on cars like the Porsche Spyder here, while you don't see the engine, you also get 0 heat coming into that trunk, and that is a feat of engineering. I mean, you get all the heat coming out of the wheel well, but nothing in the inside of that car.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool feature. But at the same time, it's fun to see the engine here, and you know, the engine of this car, guys, especially with the tune, sounds great. It's definitely got a lot of character. I think it's great. I think it's cool. It's a bulletproof engine. And then I also wanted to mention here while we're in the HQ, these tips. Check that out, guys. So tell us a little bit more about this exhaust brand.
Greg's Race Parts.
Greg's Race Parts.
Yeah, I believe he's in Las Vegas. Fantastic. The guy knows Lotus better than anybody. You talk to him, he's the super kind guy, very helpful, can walk you through everything, has a ton of Lotus. Everything he has is Lotus.
Okay.
And from your Evoras, Elise, everything on up, he carries a ton of products. And this exhaust is the titanium version. with the Miltech valve adjuster or controllers. You can close and open the valves.
Sure.
But he is fantastic.
Do you remember what this exhaust ran you roughly?
I think it was 3,700.
Okay, so not a cheap exhaust.
Yeah.
And that is just from the cat back, essentially,
yes,
or mid-pipe?
he does have a cat pipe that you can put on,
okay,
which was a warranty issue, voids my warranty if I put that on. So I didn't do that. It does make it a little more aggressive and a little louder, actually quite a bit louder.
I bet.
And so I didn't go for that option.
Yeah, but then it smells.
But,
and
yeah, it was just something I didn't really care to do, and I'm so happy that I didn't, because this is right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be any louder than this.
No, I don't
think so.
Perfect.
It's very adult, doesn't backfire, doesn't burble much. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
And super easy to put on. It's amazing. You drop the bottom pan down there, and it literally is 4 bolts to put this exhaust on.
Really?
It took no time at all.
Cool.
So.
Did it save some weight as well?
Yes. Oh, the factory exhaust was probably 25 pounds heavier. I mean, it was super heavy when I pulled it off.
Cool.
And then this, you're just holding it with one hand.
Right. And as far as installing the tune, how was that?
It's probably 15 minutes.
Is it reprogramming what's already there, or is it an actual unit?
I bought it with a Bluetooth connection to it instead of running the cable up to the plug-in under the dash.
Yeah.
But it's super easy. You literally load the app. When you put the box in there with the Bluetooth controller, and then you run the 2 wires and plug them in, it comes with its own harness. You plug that in, it literally takes about 15 minutes. And then you go on the app and you can select a 91 octane, 93 octane, advanced, race fuel. There's several presets, and then you can also get advanced and have your tuner tune it.
That's awesome. 480 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you're able to get 20% boost with just a tune.
Yeah.
And an exhaust.
Well, and it's the engine and transmission from the Evora,
yep,
the previous model. It's the same engine and transmission, and that came with 420 horsepower.
Right.
And so they did something in the detune. I'm not sure why they did it, what their reasons were for it, but they made this 400, and it really, putting that tuner on it, stepped it up.
You would have thought they maybe did that because they were going to release a different version of this car with a little bit more punch,
right,
like 480 horsepower, for example.
Right.
But then when they go ahead and get rid of the whole engine entirely,
right,
it
come out
no
with
sense.
A 420 that's the 20 horsepower that's the same as the Evora GT.
I don't get it. Yeah, you would have thought they would have less kept the same power rating.
Right.
And the Evora GT was a fun car.
Yeah, it's a great car. I have a friend who has one, and it's a fun car.
The only negative of that car was the interior.
Right.
Just the build quality.
They really stepped up the interior on this.
They really did.
I really feel like it was much more professionally done.
Yeah, I'm not going to harp on it too much. I've kind of mentioned it already in some of our POVs, but guys, like this Kef, he's got a really cool design. You can see it kind of keeps the branding of the company there. All this is an Alcantara ride. You have plenty of storage options. Even the inner lining of this is in Alcantara. Little details like that. And actually, one of the most surprising things that I forgot about this car is getting in and out of it is one of the easiest sports cars I've ever been in. Like, this is not a very difficult tub. It's not like a McLaren or even the old Lotus Elises where you kind of had to fall into them. Very hard to get out of, mind you. This is very easy to get in and out of. The seat, very comfortable. You have a little bit of bolster protection here, but not much. So this wasn't digging in. I wasn't getting any issues here. You might actually say these seats are kind of a con. They could have offered more of a sport option, more of a carbon bucket option. Right. I think a lot of guys would have probably opted for these, but on the flip side, you get heated seats and they're comfortable. So pick and choose your battles. I also like that Aaron here did not go with the Alcantara wheel. I really like what Lotus did with the leather here. This is going to age really, really well. And overall, it's just a nice place to be. And if you didn't know, the manual of this car does show the linkage mechanism. Let's see if I can get it to zoom in on it. And that's kind of a cool trick. So as you shift gears, you can see the car. And the other thing that I'm not a huge fan of, although it is kind of cool, more like a Lamborghini Huracan, but you can see here, you have to lift this thing up. The only negative is it doesn't stay open. So you have to lift this up and then hold this down while you're putting your foot on the clutch and the brake. And then there's even a small delay before it actually fires. So it's a little bit of a nuance, takes a little getting used to. But overall, I like the steering wheel. I like the way it felt. I like the way it sits in your hands. It's flat here, it's flat here, it's curved here, a little different than you're gonna get with a lot of other vehicles. These buttons, you were saying there was kind of a negative with some of the buttons.
Yeah, they're touch sensitive, so you can actually swipe them as if it was like your iPhone screen or something like that. And so you tend to do it by accident a lot. And they also click, you know, and I wish it was just the click instead of the swipe, because I will be driving and I'll bump it and all of a sudden my screen goes to a different mode.
That can be a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But no rattling.
No rattles.
Alcantara roof. I mean, everything was really well engineered and built on the interior. It's kind of on the minimalistic side, but honestly, as a driver, I love it. So there's no negatives on the interior for me. Could it have been even better? Yeah, but now you're just paying more money, right? So I think for what you got, it's very fair. This color, one more time, I got to talk about it. This Hethel Yellow, guys, is one of the best yellows I've ever seen. I am not a yellow fanboy. I've never bought a yellow car in my life. This is a car, if the price was right, I would definitely buy this in yellow. It looks great. It catches all of the right lines. I really like Aaron's spec overall. The silver wheels look great on this car. It's a great looking yellow. It's not a bright yellow. It's not a dark yellow. It's kind of got orange in it. It's the weirdest thing. It's really hard to show it on camera too, because even as I'm staring at it and then looking at the screen, it's not the same yellow.
Right.
It's weird, but if you ever see this car in person, I think you'll really like this color. So kind of really cool you went with that. Did you put the PPF here, or was this part of the...
No, that was actually came from the factory back there. I did PPF the front and the mirrors, but it stops here at the doors.
Got it.
As far as what I put on when
I
purchased it.
Got it. Yeah. Really nice looking car though. And if you guys didn't know, the first edition does have this little badge here, which is kind of cool. But yes, love the car. So collectability, what do you think, Aaron? You think these things are going to be worth more than MSRP one day?
I don't know about worth more than MSRP. I think it's going to hold its value pretty strong, and I think it's going to hold its value due to the fact that they're making the changes they're making. So
100%.
Possibly. They did, we talked earlier, they dipped a little bit when they first came out, and I think they were in around 80, you know, something like that.
I think they were 85 to 90,
something
you
around
know,
that.
for a first edition, maybe not the perfect spec.
Right.
It had a little miles, you know.
Right.
But then they crept right back into the 90s.
Yeah, I think they're holding pretty strong right now.
Yeah, you can get a 2,000 mile nice spec manual first edition for about 95, 92, is what I'm seeing, which is 106 MSRP, right? So lost, what, 10%? I mean, 15%.
These days?
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
You know, and I really think, to your point, now that the new ones are not going to have the manual, that's going to be probably holding strong.
I think so. I think it's going to be definitely beneficial to me as an owner of a manual.
Sure.
Well, and the uniqueness of it too is also part of the thing I love about it. Is I'm not.
That it's not a Porsche.
I'm not another GT4 on the road.
Exactly.
You know, I went to a car show this morning and there's 10 of them there, and I'm the only Lotus Emira.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And you know, so for me, that's kind of the fun.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a great reason to buy the car in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like everybody else.
Right.
You know, I agree.
And let's face it, that's not unique or not, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's a killer design, guys. Like this intake here is so wide. It's got all of the right hips. Like if this was a woman, she's beautiful. I mean, she can't. You wouldn't keep your eyes off her, right? I mean, it's a really good-looking car, and it's going to age so well.
I think. Well, I feel like Lotus actually stuck with their own design enough, but also drew from some other really beautiful cars.
Sure.
You know, I think they pulled from a 458. I think they pulled from other cars that were on the market that just had beautiful lines, and they took little aspects from each one of them, but yet stayed true to their own design.
I agree.
And just added those tasteful things to it, and I think they hit it.
I agree. There's no bad lines on this car. You're never going to get any hate driving this thing. It's not ostentatious.
No.
It's you know, it's not flamboyant. Even in yellow, like it's classy. It's a good looking car.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many friends that when I showed them the picture of my order, they said, "Oh, what are you doing with yellow? Why are you doing yellow? Come on!" And I'm like, "Guys, give it a chance." I have and I'm a yellow fan though, so I was going to do yellow whether they liked it or not. But that being said, now that it showed up, the guys that don't like yellow, like yourself, are going, "Man, that's actually pretty."
It's a good yellow. It's a really different yellow. If this was a Porsche, it'd be a paint to sample yellow.
Right.
It'd be not quite a pastel yellow. It's like somewhere in there, not quite a Gulf orange. It's like if they had a baby though, Gulf orange and pastel yellow or something, it'd be like this color, right? Yeah, no, it's a really cool color, guys. And again, there's no metallic flake. It's matte, but the way the sun reflects off the body panels and stuff, it really looked good. And I hope you enjoyed some of the drone shots and whatnot we took. Guys, I wanted to just take a minute to talk about my personal story with the Lotus Emira. So when this car originally came out, and this is now several years ago, this was during COVID, I thought Lotus nailed it. I've always been a huge Lotus fanboy, right? So I went right over to Carlock Motor Cars here in Brentwood, Tennessee, and I talked to Tanner, and I said, Tanner, I want one of these, right? He goes, okay, man, you're the sixth guy that's gonna be putting a deposit down. It was $2,500. I said, here's my card, signed the form, gave him my spec within 24 hours. I was gonna go with an off silver color with red interior. It's gonna have black wheels, red brakes. I was really excited about it. Well, then, I don't know, 6 months goes by, and I'm like, what's going on? I call Tanner up, he goes, man, I have no news, something about emissions issues that are going on. I was like, all right, well, keep me in the loop. Another 6 months goes by. I go to the dealership, I said, Tanner, what the heck, man? Like, what's going on? I'm getting all these reviews on YouTube, right? Guys like Shmees of the world are getting their cars in Europe, right? And Henry's Garage is doing his content. I'm like, there's nobody in the States that's getting these things, but yet they got them all over in Europe. I'm like, what's going on? Clearly their car is good, and they're all loving the car, right? So finally, another 6 months goes by, and Lotus announces a price hike. So now the car goes from $93,900 to $106,000, and you still have no allocations being fulfilled. They're just starting to hit the dealerships, but they can't sell you the car. So I go over to have my demo day. This was now about 1.5 years later, mind you. So I'm demoing this car. It was actually this spec too, and there's a horrible rattle in the front right of the car. I mean, it was just awful. And, you know, it was a sports suspension, and I remember thinking, wow, this is actually pretty comfortable for a sports suspension. So I go to talk to Tanner. I said, Tanner, can I just change my order from a touring suspension to a sports suspension? And he's like, unfortunately, you can't. And I'm like, why? The car hasn't been produced. It's been delayed for 1 year plus. Like, I don't understand. He's like, unfortunately, we've already submitted it. You know, you'll lose your spot, the whole nine. He kind of made it difficult. And I was like, look, dude, I got to pay $10,000 more, 13 grand more. You're saying I can't get the suspension that I actually want after I was able to drive the car. I just said, let me just cancel the order. And in Tanner's defense, he gave me my money back, and it was still another, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months before the car was actually sold to the first person in Tennessee anyways. So I felt like it was a win, and I ended up going and eventually getting the Porsche Spyder RS, which I absolutely love. But I wanted this car. So the other thing that I noticed when I did my demo drive, just to put a button on this story, is that I thought it was a little underpowered, and I felt like it was a little quiet. So I really appreciate what Aaron's done with this exhaust and this tune, and I just think this car is dialed in, and this is how it should have come from the factory. So I would highly encourage you guys to do these upgrades. If you have one of these, you really have no excuse not to. Didn't really, you know, I don't think it's gonna avoid any issues, cause any issues. It just unlocked some of the potential that was already in the car from the factory, some of the noise, some of the performance, etc. So now this thing is a really, really cool car, not only from the looks factor, but also from a driving and performance factor. I kind of dig it because it requires driver engagement, and it requires a little bit of, you can call it X factor or fun factor. You really have to drive this car to get the max performance. It doesn't drive you. And a lot of modern cars, like the RS, for example, sitting right next to it, it kind of does all the work for you guys. All you have to do is shift a gear, and you're off to the races. And it won't let you get out of any trouble, to be honest with you. This car, not the case. I kind of dig it. So I hope you enjoyed the content. I really appreciate Aaron coming on. Just wanted to give you my story about why I don't own this car today. If Tanner had let me put that damn sports suspension in, I probably would have a silver with red interior right now. I probably would have also done these 2 upgrades, and I'd be enjoying the car. But that's the reason why I never ended up with it. But now that I've reviewed this car, I might be on the lookout for one of these things, because I could see a green one with tan interior in my near future. Because I do think they're going to be a great store of value. I mean, this is a gorgeous car. They're not going to make the V6 anymore. They're not going to make the 6-speed. Like, they only imported 1,300 of them. Like, I just don't see them really going to zero ever. I think they're going to stay a 90 to 100 grand car forever. And that's a lot of value. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you did, leave a comment below. Appreciate you watching. Big shout out to Aaron for allowing us to review this beautiful car. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Talk to you later.